When you realize there's only one way out. Think about that for a minute. Everyone, if you like the content, please like, subscribe, and share. So when you realize this, that there's only one way out, I'm referring to, yes, the narcissistic relationship. The only way out is to go no contact and to cut ties with these people. The sooner, the better. Now remember, there are 4 ties: the emotional, the financial, the physical, and the spiritual tie. These must be cut by you, for you, and to benefit you when you are ready. If you are out of the relationship and you've cut those ties, you know exactly what I'm talking about, and you know exactly what it took for you to accomplish those goals and those feats. But you also know that your life has massively improved. Now, if you've cut a couple of those ties, you know that there's work to be done, and you have to continue to sever those 4 ties. Now, if this is the first video you're consuming, or if you're just getting the wisdom on the narcissistic abusive cycle and you're understanding right now what you didn't know before, well, stay tuned, because this video is going to pack a whole lot of wisdom for you in about 15 minutes. When you realize the only way out is for you to go no contact and to finally get that person out of your life, it's a very big pill to swallow. And the reason why is because you most likely were committed in a relationship with a person who wasn't committed. You most likely were giving to a fault. You most likely were a people pleaser. You have a high level of empathy. You were committed, and you didn't know that narcissism existed. Now, when you put your head around all that, you wrap your head around all that, then you realize that, yeah, this person, whoever it is that you are thinking about, they did what they did deliberately, intentionally, and on purpose, and they were really hoping that you wouldn't figure it out. They did their best to put roadblocks in the way of you discovering the truth. So you would stay stuck, and you'd be blaming yourself, and you'd be trapped, and you'd be guilting yourself, or thinking that they had it so rough and you could help them or elevate them or be there for them. Well, this is what they wanted. You need to remember, it wasn't just you in a relationship with that narcissist. There were multiple people. Think about the person you're considering. They probably had siblings. They probably had former romantic relationships, other friendships, till they burned all those bridges. They probably burned tenants when they were renting apartments. They probably burned roommates. They probably forged their way to get through school when they didn't even take their exams. They had someone else do it, or they cheated or used AI. I don't know what they did. What I can tell you is whatever they did, it didn't benefit you. It benefited themselves. The narcissist wants to take shortcuts in life. They don't want to do the work. They don't want to put in the time, but they want all the credit for doing what other people have accomplished and achieved. You see, the narcissist wants to ride on people's coattails. And yeah, sure, you could say that no, the narcissist you knew, they are very cerebral. They're extremely intelligent. They're very well versed, and they have a great job. Well, that probably, for you, is true. But you have to remember, not every narcissist is the CEO of some company or in charge of something. There are many narcissists that are quite comfortable zapping people's energy, acting as if they're squatters, if you will, in other people's houses. And these people have gone from romance to roommate, as an example, from what was a romantic relationship to now roommates. And these types of narcissists just want to sit around and drain energy. And they know that the divorce is pending. They know that the bills will be separated one day. And they know that other people won't be talking to them, but they flat out don't care. Think about what the word squatter is. You may know that word, you may not. It's kind of an antiquated word, but squatter is exactly what the narcissist did with you. It's what they're doing right now, and it's what they always will be doing with different people during different periods of their life. They want to squat in other people's life and take over those people's hopes, dreams, aspirations, goals, lives, purposes, health, hobbies, relationships, focus, and more. And then when they're done, when they take everything they could from that location, which in this case was a person, and it certainly was me and it was you, then they go and they try to squat somewhere else. Think about it. A squat isn't just you going to the gym and bending your legs and trying to get strong calf muscles or leg muscles. Squatting is what the narcissist does. They are uninvited guests. They are people who don't want to leave. They're people who disrupt energy. They are people with the loudest voices, meaning not only literally, but figuratively. How many times did the narcissist you're considering try to sabotage your life? You probably know of about 1, 2, 3, maybe 10 different ways. Well, you should probably think about adding a 0 or maybe even 2 to that, because you only know what you know. You only know what you discovered. You don't know what really went on behind the closed doors or in the tiny little pea brain of the narcissist. You only know what you figured out, and you just barely scratched the surface with that. So understand what I'm sharing. When you figure out, when you realize that the only way out is by you taking the bull by the horns, by you taking control, by you going no contact, blocking that person, deleting them, removing them and all flying monkeys and people associated with them. And when you make these steps and take these actions, it won't be easy. Nothing worth doing in this life called, on this planet called Earth, nothing worth doing is ever easy, which is why getting out of a narcissistic relationship is challenging to say the least. But it's also one of the reasons why you were targeted. You see, not everyone is targeted by the narcissist. Everyone, and yes, I do mean everyone. I mean every single person who has ever lived on this planet called Earth has been affected by the narcissists, plural, one way or another, either directly or indirectly. You may think to yourself, well, that's not true. Where would you come up with that, Andrew? I don't get that one. Well, think about it. What are laws, rules, and regulations? Mainly, what are laws, rules, and regulations when they apply to everybody, but they don't apply to the people that are implementing them? Ding, ding, ding. Yep, don't get me started, because I can turn this 15-minute video into 150 hours nonstop, and I do mean it. Having said all those things, when you realize that the only way out is when you finally get the message, you are changing, you are ascending, you are elevating, you are growing, you are doing what the narcissist doesn't want you to do. What is the narcissist doing? They are stuck in that low vibrational quagmire state. They're stuck in that loop going around and around and around, just waiting for more people to fall into the webs and the traps that they lay out. And what the narcissist will continue to do is get worse over time. They will continue to become the aging narcissist. They will continue to fall apart at the seams and fumble their way through life. And they will blame anybody under the sun, whether those people existed or didn't. They will continue to triangulate people, stonewall them, give them the silent treatment, drag the legal system through slow down the legal system, drag out the divorce, the custody of the child assets, and more, because the narcissist doesn't care. What the narcissist wants is one word: attention. They need attention, and they don't care if it's negative attention or positive attention, because in their tiny little pea brain, what is attention? That's right, it is supply. Supply to you is a Clorox wipey, or it's toilet paper, or having enough milk or water, whatever it is. That's what it is to me, not to the narcissist. Supply is adoration, it's praise, it's energy, it's attention, it's ideas, it's money, it's time, it's focus, it's relationships, it's health. It's an Amazon package. It's all the vices that the narcissist has. Everything that makes the narcissist themselves is what equals toxicity. And when you were trapped in that cycle, you didn't know where you were because you weren't formally educated on this. So how could you know that toxicity has two legs and it walks and talks like you? You didn't, you couldn't, but now you do, and you forever will. Understand that that's what these people do. They want to use, abuse, manipulate, trick, trap, blame, and keep people stuck. They don't want people advancing. I'm talking about the narcissist. They don't want people healing or elevating or discovering who they really are or discovering the truth. Well, that is who you were in the past. Who you are right now and for the rest of your life is in the third version of you, the strongest, most galvanized version of you known to humankind. That is when you can take a class, you can teach a class, you can read a book, you can write a book, you can travel the world, sleep until 11 a.m. or stay up till 4 o'clock in the morning. You can do whatever you want to do when the four ties are cut and when you've healed or as you are healing. But you must remember this, and I'm going to get ready to close the video. If you are still connected to the narcissist in any way, shape, or form, I am talking about directly, or even let's say that you have friends, or I shouldn't say friends, you have people that you're still that still have the ability to communicate with you, but those people haven't been blocked yet and they are in the camp of the narcissist. Well, what that means is the narcissist at any point in time, if they want to, could rear their ugly head and they could attempt to hoover you. You cannot accept a hoover. You cannot be playing the hoovering games of the narcissist. You cannot do anything to give them what is known as, you got it, supply. That's why you need to get off the radar of these people. You need to let them slither off into the abyss, into the darkness, into the void, wherever the heck they came from. That's what you have to do, because the narcissist will continue to try their best to live in your mind rent-free if you don't go no contact, if you don't take that action. And you may think to yourself, well, no, I haven't gone no contact. It's been X number of period of time and I'm doing fine. And they haven't popped up and I'm doing just great. What do you think about that one, Andrew? Well, what I think about that is that's fantastic that you've healed. It's fantastic that you're doing great. It's fantastic that you're feeling strong. But what you need to remember in the back of your mind which is not a tiny little pea-brained mind of the narcissist. Your fully developed frontal lobe and cortex and your wisdom you've now acquired through the narcissistic abusive cycle. What you must remember is if you haven't gone no contact, that means that that person you should have blocked by now. They could pop up whenever they want to. They could send you a quick text saying, how are you? Or missing you, or thinking of you, or what's up, or how you doing? Like, I'm not the best at those kind of expressions because I don't do, I'm not a comedian, although some people think I'm funny at times, and I'm certainly not the narcissist. Having said all those things, this is what the narcissist will do. Remember, you should know nothing about the narcissist's whereabouts. They should know nothing about yours. So if you've identified someone as toxic and they still have the ability to spy on your social media or your life, let's say, through an avenue of communication that you haven't battened down the hatches with yet, then you should do it. What are you waiting for? This is a game. It's a zero-sum game. There will be one winner. There will be one loser. I will tell you right now who the winner is. The winner is you because you made it this far in the video. But to make sure you win, you really need to go no contact and understand that when you realize the only thing left to do is cut the ties from this person and begin elevating and ascending, that's actually a very good day because that means you've done your work. It means you're trusting your own instincts, your own intuition. You are sick and tired of red flags. You are embracing green flags. And now you realize that these people, the narcissists, they're not going to change, but you're changing. And as I shared with you earlier, zero-sum game, you're the winner. What does that mean with the loser? Who is the loser? Ding, ding, ding. El narcisista. That's right. The narcissist is the loser, and they know it. All they've done since the relationship ended that you were a part of is continue to fine-tune their skill set, continue to look for a viable replacement that could fill your shoes, of which they never will find because that person doesn't exist, and they continue to have other people close doors of communication on them. That is the truth. And you may think, well, not really. Well, think about something. More and more people on the planet are becoming awakened and aware, educated and empowered. People who haven't even been in the cycle, they're watching videos. They're understanding mindset. They're learning about energy. They're learning about positivity. They're learning about negativity. They're learning about narcissism and sociopathy and psychopathy and all these things. When people are learning those and they didn't go through a cycle, why do you think an average human being in this day and age would be researching topics like that? That would be correct because they want to protect and insulate themselves and avoid falling into the same trap that you fell into and the same trap that I fell into, which means my healing and your healing has created the ripple effect. And that ripple effect is not only a ripple now, it's becoming a wave. It's becoming a very small wave, but remember, ripple is like this. A wave is like that. And then it's going to be much bigger and bigger. And then there's going to be a tsunami of authenticity, a tsunami of intelligence, a tsunami of abundance. And it's going to crush and capsize the narcissists on the planet. That is not a promise, and it's not literal. It's a figurative expression letting the narcissist know that their time is numbered, and they know it now. And I know it, and you're learning it too. But all these things equal one thing: boundaries. You must implement, maintain, and adhere to your boundaries. You didn't have boundaries when you were tied or tethered to the narcissist. You do have them now. You need to maintain them. And if you should receive a Hoover, and my hope is you don't, via text, email, snail mail, package, flying monkey, or anything, I don't know what it is. Maybe you get some message from a old internet company from years ago saying that you owe money, but it's nothing to do with you. But the narcissist put your email on the internet bill to try to Hoover you. Nice try, wink, wink. Having said all those things, when you realize that the past is the past and that you have nothing to do with it, that was then, this is now. You need to heal, and you need to close all avenues of communication on the narcissist. They need to be sealed airtight. And if you were sleeping and I just woke you up, I didn't mean to. I'm trying to not do the slam that much any longer. I'm just trying to share with you. You need to understand that nobody's going to come knock on your door. No one's going to save you. No one's going to rescue you. No one's going to care the way you care about yourself. And at the top of that list, you got it. It's the narcissist. So everyone, that's the video. I hope you liked it. I loved doing it from the beautiful Carolinas. This is Andrew. Namaste. Have a great afternoon, evening, or morning, no matter where you are on the planet. You are not alone. I love you all, and I'll talk with you tomorrow. A couple quick things. When you realize that it is a zero-sum game and you are the winner, you may not feel like it now, but you will win once you go no contact and once you continue to heal and close every avenue of communication down with these people. You are the winner. Now, did I want to have to say that? No. But think about it. You were caught in an ocean of abuse, trapped on an island of isolation at the hands of the narcissist. They were feeding off of you every single day, maybe every single hour, maybe every single couple days or week. They would take a couple pecks, like a bird pecking you get my point. They would be pecking at you. That is what I call a micro discard. And eventually, all of those death by 1,000 paper cuts that you were feeling or experiencing, they added up to one thing, which was called the discard, the ending of the relationship, or whenever you ended it. But anyway you cut it, you're out. When you're out, you need to stay out. And that's why I create videos every day to pay it forward, to help people, many of which who don't even know that they need help, because at one point I was one of those people and I didn't have me to create a video for myself, which is why I create videos right now to let you know that at one point we all were the new supply. The new supply is not who you want to be. It's not cool to be the new supply. The new supply is in for a very, and I mean very, long road of toxicity, manipulation, abuse, cheating, lying, stealing, and so much more. That isn't us any longer. We are out. Now that we're out, we stay out. I love you all, and I'll talk to you tomorrow. Bye, everybody. Bye.